Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. Um, this is our Sabbath class for the 4th of May, 2024. The topic inside the room is we just gonna kind of pick up off of what we talked about last night on Clubhouse. We dealing with a breakdown of the two powers that's in heaven from Tanakh perspective, from the Old Testament. Okay. You can go to our YouTube channel, The Prophets of Awakening. Check out our videos. We have over 900 or so videos that you can check out. These videos will lead you into the connect dots for you and lead you into the truth of the Holy Scriptures. If you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated. And we also have our Cash App at the bottom. If you feel the need to support the channel, help it move along, it would be greatly appreciated. Okay. For those that don't know, this is the non-Messianic channel. When we deal with the Tanakh and the Torah, we don't deal with the New Testament, Yahushua, Jesus, Paul, none of that. Okay. Shalom and welcome to this channel, and welcome to our Sabbath class. We're going to do our normal, which is a moment of silence, Sabbath prayer, we'll read the Psalms, we'll do some current events, a little need to know information. Then we open it up for some questions and comments about anything that happened during the week or during our Clubhouse conversation. And then we'll go into our topic for discussion, which is, like I said before, we'll be dealing with the two powers that's in heaven. Okay. So this moment of silence is this moment of silence before the Lord of hosts, and all that he's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. Okay. O Lord, righteousness and uprightness belongeth unto thee. Therefore, we come before thee at this hour, seeking thy face and looking for righteousness and uprightness, that we may walk before thee as thy servants David and Solomon, Samuel, Hezekiah, and Jeremiah did, that we may walk before thee in truth and in righteousness and in rightness of heart. Give unto us, O Lord, an understanding heart, that we may discern between good and bad. For we know that you possess the power to do so. For we desire to walk after thee, O Lord, keep your commandments and your testimony and your statutes with all our heart and soul, and to perform the words of the covenant that was written down by your prophets. O Lord, allow thy face to shine upon our people, and hear our plea. Hear and do, O Lord, and hide not thy face from us, for we need you so very much at this hour. Peace be unto you. Okay. So with that being said, I'll read the Psalms. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna read Psalms 50. Okay. 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 God is the judge, the mighty God, even the Lord has spoken and called the earth from the rising of the sun to the going down thereof. Out of Zion, the perfection of beauty, God has shined. Our God shall come and shall not keep silent. A fire shall devour before him, and it shall be very tempestuous round about him. He shall call to the heavens from above into the earth, that he have judged, that he may judge his people. Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice, and the heavens shall declare his righteousness. For God is judge himself. Hear, O God, hear, O my people, and I will speak, O Israel, and I will testify against thee. I am God, even thy God. I will not reprove thee for thy sacrifices or the burnt offerings to have been continuously before me. I will take no bullock out of the house, nor he goats out of thy fold. For every beast of the forest is mine, and the cattle upon 1,000 hills. I know all the fowls of the mountains, and the wild beasts of the field are mine. If I were hungry, I would not tell thee, for the world is mine, and the fullness thereof. I will eat the flesh of bulls, and drink the blood of goats. Offer unto God thanksgiving, right? And pay thy vows unto the Most High, and call upon me in the day of trouble, and I will deliver thee, and thou shalt glorify me. Unto the wicked, God saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth, seeing thou hatest instructions, and castest my word behind thee, when thou sawest a thief, then thou consented with him, and hast been partaker with his adulteries. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother, thou slanderest thine own mother's son. These things hast thou done, and I kept silent. Though although thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself, but I will reprove thee and set thee in order before thine eyes. Now consider this, yea, ye that forget God, lest I tear you in pieces, and there be none to deliver. Whoso offers praises glorify me, and to him that ordereth his conversation aright will I show the salvation of God. Okay, so this is Psalms 50. God is the judge. Anybody have any comments? It's a Psalm of Asaph. Anybody have any comments on that? Okay, so I chose to read this verse, this Psalm right here, because it's been coming up in our conversations the last couple of days, especially with Wednesday night and then last night on Clubhouse, when we was dealing with these two powers in the Elohim, that's in the Elohim of Israel. Okay. So with that being said, we'll do current events.
It's about Jesus before he died, and it contradicts everything we know about the Son of God. The Roman official who we all know ordered Jesus' crucifixion kept some secrets about Jesus, and he didn't reveal them until the day he died. What did he reveal about Jesus? Could they have been involved in some scandal together? Join us as we explore what Pontius Pilate revealed about Jesus before his passing.
This is not about we want to present to you a wholesome kind of level of consciousness right now. So subscribe and tell your friend them. This is not about there with you.
So
we are continuing journey, you know. We're not make them sidetrack.
So reason I'm playing this particular video is because of trying to get everything lined right, because of what you have to understand is that who JC is. And like I keep saying over and over again, he's Caesarian. Cleopatra and Julius Caesar had a son called Caesarian. Okay.
From the aim and objective, where we stand for and where we there for, and where this program I deal with.
Moments before Christ was nailed to the cross, where his life was given up, the high priest broke some silence about Jesus and revealed some terrifying knowledge about him. What exactly did he say, and why is it terrific? Let us travel back to ancient Jerusalem as we uncover a revelation so profound. Despite being a good man, and despite having performed many miracles while he was on earth, Jesus Christ was accused by the Jewish council, and they ensured that he died a painful death on the cross, declaring unashamedly that his blood is on them and their children. Pontius Pilate was the 5th governor of the Roman province of Judea, serving under Emperor Tiberius from 2627 to 3637 AD. He is known best for being the official who presided over the trial of Jesus and ultimately ordered his crucifixion. Pilate's importance in Christianity is underscored by his prominent place in both the Apostles' and Nicene creeds. Because the Gospels portray Pilate as reluctant to execute Jesus, the Ethiopian Church believes that Pilate became a Christian and venerates him as both a martyr and a saint, a belief which is historically shared by the Coptic Church with a feast day on 19 or the 25th of June, respectively. Right before Pilate gave the order for Jesus to be executed, he was arrested and taken to Caiaphas, the high priest who was behind Christ's rigged trial. The teachers of the law and the elders had assembled in Sanhedrin, while one of his disciples, Peter, followed at a distance. The Sanhedrin was the highest ruling council of the Jews. There were 70 members, mostly made up of Sadducees, Pharisees, and priests, together with the leader, who was the high priest. The chief priests and the whole Sanhedrin were looking for false evidence against Jesus so that they could put him to death, but they could not find any. Finally, 2 people came forward and they accused him of threatening to destroy the temple. Jesus had once said he would destroy the temple of God and rebuild it in 3 days, and this could have been a distortion of Jesus's teaching about the resurrection, when he said his body, which refers to the temple, would be raised in 3 days. Eventually, Caiaphas demanded of Jesus, "Tell us if you are the Messiah, the Son of God." Jesus answered him, "So you say. But I tell all of you, from time on, you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right side of the Almighty and coming on the clouds of heaven." Caiaphas declared this was blasphemy. Blasphemy is known to be a religious offense when a person says or does something regarded as being disrespectful to God. In the eyes of the Jewish leaders, when Jesus claimed to be God's son, he was insulting God. And so the guilty verdict was passed. Then they spat in Jesus' face and beat him. There were quite a number of reasons why the Jewish leaders wanted Jesus to be put to death. Firstly, they said he challenged their authority by calling them hypocrites. He also mixed with sinners, prostitutes, and tax collectors, a category of people the Jewish leaders regarded as unclean. He also disobeyed their law concerning the Sabbath observance. Jesus healed people on the Sabbath. They also accused him of making claims about himself that the Jewish leaders could not accept. Claims like he was the Son of God and the promised Savior. Now that the Jewish leaders have found Jesus guilty of a crime deserving the death sentence, they have to take him to the Roman governor, Pontius Pilate. Apparently, it turns out the Sanhedrin did not have authorization to carry out the death penalty at the time, and they needed the assent of the Roman governor to bring Jesus to execution. They accused him, saying, "We have found this man corrupting our people, forbidding them to pay taxes to Caesar and saying he is Christ, a king." Those were the 2 charges brought against Jesus. Meanwhile, Jesus never forbade the people to pay Roman taxes. Then Pilate asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" Jesus answered, "You are the one saying it." Jesus answered simply that the words were Pilate's, not his own. He did not answer the question as such because there was no point in entering into debate. Like the members of the Sanhedrin, Pilate was not interested in the truth that Jesus preached. So Pilate said to the chief priests and to the crowds that he finds no guilt in Jesus, hence there's no reason to crucify him. In the eyes of the Roman authority, Jesus had no real charge to answer. Pilate effectively declared him innocent. Pilate asked whether Jesus was a Galilean, but realizing that he was under Herod's jurisdiction, he sent him on to Herod Antipas, the son of Herod the Great, who was also the ruler of Galilee between 4 BC to 39 AD. Herod was in Jerusalem in those days, but he had no power in Jerusalem, even though his father and his brother Archelaus had once ruled there. He would probably have owned property in Jerusalem. Jesus, insurrection, as well as for the crime of murder, though in his case the crimes were real. Why, however, would Pilate be likely to release a man whom he had previously found guilty? And why did the chief priests and elders cry out for his release? Wanting to release Jesus, Pilate asked them the question again, but they shouted out, "Crucify, crucify him." This was the first time in any of the trials that crucifixion had been explicitly mentioned. A third time he said to them, "Why? What has he done wrong? I found nothing in him deserving of death, so I shall punish him and set him free." This was a reference to the innocence of Jesus. It was an important element of his message, but they insisted more loudly, demanding that he be crucified, and their shouts prevailed. Pontius Pilate, left with no other option, then decreed that their demand be granted. He took some water, washed his hands on the Sabbath in order to reveal the hypocrisy of the Pharisees' religion. In 3 passages where Jesus' healing led to a confrontation, Jesus references how the Jews worked on the Sabbath by taking care of their animals, and that work was sanctioned by the Pharisees. In an agrarian society, animal care, since he had not come to call the righteous sinners, as Mark 2:17 says. If Jesus was to reach the lost, he must have some contact with them. Sitting at Matthew's feast, Jesus broke societal taboos and condemned the Pharisees' legalistic system of attaining righteousness. The fact that Jesus ate with sinners shows that he looked beyond culture to people's hearts. Whereas the Pharisees disregarded people because of their past behavior, Jesus saw their spiritual need. Throughout his ministry, he reached out to those who needed him. He conversed with the lost sheep wherever they had strayed. When Matthew hosted the dinner party, Jesus accepted the invitation. It was a wonderful opportunity to share the good news of the kingdom with those who most needed to hear. He was criticized for his actions by the self-righteous legalists of his day, but he was not discouraged by their criticism. Unlike the Pharisees, Jesus didn't require people to change before coming to him. He sought them out, met them where they were, and extended grace to them in their circumstances. Again, in the story of the woman caught in adultery, Jesus teaches love and forgiveness. Jesus was teaching in the temple after coming from the Mount of Olives. A group of scribes and Pharisees confronts Jesus, interrupting his teaching.
So we see right here that we talked about this last night, how there's laws and statutes and all that concerning adultery and all that. But right here, he makes a statement. He keeps saying his teachings. But we got laws and statutes that's associated with our culture. And the law was that if a man or a woman is caught in adultery, they should immediately supposed to be taken outside the city and stoned to death. But he got this person right here has got his own sayings. And when you understand the story that happened with Caesarion, Cleopatra, and Mark Antony in that old story, she hid him off from she hid him away from the Roman authorities, Augustus Caesar and all them, and she hid him in a sanctuary. So he got his sayings and all that stuff from in his Buddhist temple. The art, the healing, and all that. He got all that while he was in this monastery that his mother Cleopatra had sent him to hide him away from the Romans' authority because they wanted him dead, because he was the only actual heir to the throne that was in Julius Caesar's throne, because he was the son of Julius Caesar. So because of that, he was sent away for those 18 years, and he went from being the son of a god, which was Julius Caesar, and a Roman general, and being raised as a Roman general. Instead, he became raised as a monk, as a religious man. And so when you see them keep saying his sayings this, his sayings that, it's because it's not our culture, not the Tanakh and the Torah. It's these sayings that he required from being around these Buddhist monks. You know what I'm saying? We see in the Old Testament, the God of the Old Testament and prophets and all them, their concern is strictly with the Israelites. And like the brother just said, his sayings went beyond that. He wants to deal with everybody, no matter who they are, that don't go along with Tanakh and Torah. Okay? Any comments on that? Okay, everybody good? Let's see what else I got. Okay, yeah, this is a story on how Palestine got its name.
Border. You say there's no such thing as
East
Palestine.
and West Bank? No. What was Palestine then? Palestine was then the area between the Mediterranean and the Iraqian border.
You say there's no such thing as
East
Palestine.
and West Bank? No. East and West Bank was Palestine. I'm a Palestinian. From 21 until 48, I carried a Palestinian passport. There was no such thing in this area as Jews and Arabs and Palestinians. There were Jews and Arabs.
The area of what is now called Palestine has been inhabited for thousands of years. It has been a historically significant location since the earliest days of civilization because it is at a nexus point between multiple empires which have controlled the region throughout the centuries. Like many of the other modern Arab nation states, Palestine largely came into existence in the 20th century. The process was heavily influenced by the decline and eventual collapse of the Ottoman Empire, which had controlled much of the Arab world since the 16th century. Many of the Arab nation states have long, rich histories stretching back thousands of years, encompassing some of the world's oldest civilizations. In this video, we will cover the ancient origins of the region of Palestine, as well as the origin of the name Palestine and why it's used today. Between 10,000 and 5,000 BC, agricultural communities were established. Evidence of such settlements were found at Tel es-Sultan, Jericho. It consisted of a number of walls, a religious shrine, and a 23-foot tower with an internal staircase. Jericho is believed to be one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world, with evidence of settlement dating back to 9000 BC, giving us a crucial understanding about the early human civilization in the Near East. There is a long history of various tribes living in the region, most notably the mysterious Canaanites, who lived in modern-day Lebanon, Israel, Palestine, and West Jordan. They were a group of ancient people that shared a similar language and culture, but weren't necessarily a unified nation or empire. The Canaanites were known for establishing the cities of Tyre, Sidon, and Ugarit, hubs of trade and craftsmanship that played a central role in Mediterranean trade during the late Bronze Age. Archaeological evidence suggests the early Israelites may have originally been Canaanites who developed their own distinct identity. This is demonstrated by cultural and linguistic continuity between the Canaanite city-states and emerging Israelite populations. Interestingly, a study published in the American Journal of Human Genetics found DNA sampled from Canaanite remains who lived 4,000 years ago. The findings show that present-day Lebanese people share more than 90% of their DNA with the ancient Canaanites, which is surprising given the turbulent history of the region. Palestinians, like other Levantine populations, probably also share genetic history from the Canaanites, despite the later Arab influx during the 7th century Muslim conquest. Both Jewish and Palestinian ancestries share connections to the diverse ancient tribes of the Bronze Age Levant. Their identities have been shaped by numerous additional factors over the centuries, including religion, culture, and subsequent invasions.
If you're a business owner, then
Palestinian people, or Al-Falastini in Arabic, have been referring to themselves as Palestinians since 1964. Before that, they referred to themselves as Arabs. During the period of the British Mandate, the term Palestinian was also used to describe the Jewish community living in Palestine, which the Jews later rejected for historical reasons that we will get into. However, previously under the Ottomans, Palestine's Arab population mostly saw themselves as Ottoman subjects, and there was no administrative region called Palestine. So when the British took over, they resuscitated this ancient name for the region, Palestine, But where did it come from? The name Palestine itself can be traced back to the Roman Empire. The Roman army arrived on the shores of the Holy Land in 63 BC. The Roman general Pompey the Great intervened in a civil war between two brothers, Hyrcanus II and Aristobulus II, of the Hasmonean kingdom of Judea, a semi-autonomous kingdom that had to navigate the politics and pressures of the larger Hellenistic world. Seizing the opportunity, Pompey captured Jerusalem after a 3-month siege, and although he entered the Jewish temple, he left its treasures intact. He made Judea a client kingdom of Rome, with Hyrcanus II appointed as king. After a few decades of
Yeah, so I want to shine a light on this right here because, you know, you never hardly hear it. Nobody never say nothing about it. But it's surrounding all the lies and the trickeration that they did to get us to the point where we're at. So you see right here, and like I say, you can go into history. Because I really don't think it's in the this tied to Caesarion also. But Pompey surrounded Jerusalem with his armies. Pompey. So you say, what are you talking about? Well, JC, they got JC telling you that when you see Jerusalem surrounded with armies, flee to the hills. Well, they don't mention this right here. This is after JC too. This is after JC supposedly came and died our sins and left. Well, Pompey came and surrounded Jerusalem with a big army. And then, but they go, what they did, they used the narrative with Titus and Vespasian. That's their storyline. And it's not even in the script, it's not even in the King James. Okay, so like I said, you might want to do your research on that. So where is this at?
Periodic rebellions and instability, the Romans decided to incorporate Judea directly into their empire as a province, ruled by a Roman governor. The Romans ruled Judea with a heavy hand, and tensions escalated due to the religious and cultural differences. These tensions culminated in a series of revolts, which ended with the Roman destruction of the Second Temple in Jerusalem in 70 CE. In subsequent years, there were more revolts.
So let's look at that. So Pompey lived during the same time. If you go watch any of these season series, Rome and all that, you're gonna see, like I said, these people they spend billions and millions of dollars on these on research for these movies. So Pompey was lived during the same time Julius Caesar lived. So you say, what are you talking about? Julius Caesar was the first emperor, first Caesar of Rome. And so he didn't live that long from the time that he existed all the way to when the temple was destroyed by Titus and Vespasian. It's like thousands of years in between that. But they just went from Pompey surrounding Jerusalem, which is during the time of Julius Caesar, to Titus and Vespasian, JC. That's what Daniel was telling us. They manipulated times and events and all that, and hoodwinked the scriptures, and it prospered. Okay.
Like the Bar Kokhba revolt of 132, the Romans, after suppressing the Bar Kokhba revolt, renamed the province from Judea to Syria Palestina in an attempt to minimize Jewish identification with the land. The name Palestina was given to the whole region because it had been used by the Greeks for centuries, in the same way that the Romans named the province of Gaul after the Gallic people that lived there. The name Judea was also used to refer to the population of the Jews, who mainly inhabited that area. The new name of the province Palestina was more of a reference to the geographical area, as opposed to a group of people. Some scholars suggest it was to disassociate the Jewish people from their historical homeland as a punishment for their revolt.
So it's part of Psalm 83. It calls us a disinheritance.
And identify Emperor Hadrian as the one responsible. So the word itself does date back to ancient times. However, the Romans probably derived the name Palestine from the Philistines, the name of the people who had occupied the region in the 12th century BC during the Bronze Age collapse. In the ancient Bronze Age, the Philistines sailed from the Aegean Islands and settled in Canaan. They are often associated with the cities of Gaza, Ashkelon, Ashdod, Ekron, and Gath. Through DNA analysis and archaeological finds, scientists have concluded that the Philistines did immigrate from the Aegean Islands, Crete, and the Greek mainland, as they have a lot of similarity with Mycenaean culture. This is why most scholars theorize that the Philistines may have been part of the mysterious Sea Peoples, who were groups of aggressive seafarers who invaded eastern Anatolia, Syria, Palestine, Cyprus, and Egypt towards the end of the Bronze Age, especially in the 13th century. They were responsible for the destruction of old powers such as the Hittite Empire. Philistine archaeological sites have revealed a distinctive material culture, with pottery that bears a striking resemblance to styles found in the Aegean. This further supports the idea of their maritime or Greek origin. Over time, Philistine material culture became more and more influenced by the local Canaanite culture. The Philistines had a pantheon of gods and goddesses, with Dagon and Baal-Zebub being among the most prominent deities. Temples dedicated to these gods have been uncovered in archaeological excavations. In the Hebrew Bible, the Philistines are frequently portrayed as adversaries of the Israelites. Notably, the stories involving the Philistines include the tales of Samson, the Ark of the Covenant being captured and then returned, and the battles between King David and the Philistine giant, Goliath. The cities.
So you shouldn't be surprised, like I was saying last night, with the reason so many people don't know who Zerubbabel is because they changed his name. The Chaldeans renamed him, called him Sheshbazzar. They renamed David. Daniel, Balthazar. They changed his name, so you shouldn't be surprised right here. Like I said, this tied to Psalms 83. They changed the name of Jerusalem to Palestinian. And Hadrian done this, so in order, he changed it to, gave it a whole new name. And then, like I said, it's not in King James. You have to go to history to connect all these dots. So then he backfilled the land with dirt. Same way that they converted the Colorado River. They redirected it. So they came right here with had thousands, hundreds of thousands of men bringing dirt in. They backfilled it. That's why now when you dig, they digging now and digging up stuff. They got to dig so deep because they came in and bagged it and covered the whole thing over with dirt and called it, renamed it, the area Palestinian. And you would if you have any kind of reasoning, that would cause a whole bunch of drama right there in itself. A lot of people think that just because of those Edomites came there in 1943 and created the land of Israel today, the Israelis, that a lot of the drama started right there. No, a lot of the drama started because you done came in that area and you done injected all this deception and lies there. You backfilled the land You gave it a whole other name. So chaos, that in itself brought an atmosphere of chaos right there. Because you didn't, geographically, you didn't cover over the whole place and gave it some other name. Okay. Somebody had something to say? Okay, let's keep going. So, I just want to shine a light on that. And notice how way back here, like we talked about, Great Britain is working with them right here, the British Empire. We see the contract they got with them now, with Israel, that's pertaining to the temple and all that in the 2030. So it ain't nothing new under the sun. Behind the scenes, they still working. They got us believing and telling us all kinds of stuff using the news and propaganda, but everything is going as planned, but you got to dig in and find out exactly what's really going on with all that. But so, like I said, Hadrian took his place and renamed it. He took the name and the history and all that from the region and called it Palestine. We renamed it. So let me show you that right there. And King James is going over so many people's head. They're not getting understanding what's being said. So I'm in Isaiah right quick. Okay. I'm in Isaiah, I think it's 19. You can I'm going to read it, then you can let it permeate. Okay. Let's see where I'm at. Okay. Been a minute since I dealt with this. Okay. Yeah, here you go. It's 14. Isaiah chapter 14. Just like during the time of this, when the Assyrians was in the land. I'm gonna read it. Starting at Isaiah 14 and verse 24. The Lord of hosts have sworn, saying, surely as I have thought, so shall it come to pass, and as I have proposed, so shall it stand, that I will break the Assyrians in my land, and upon my mountains tread him underfoot. Then shall his yoke depart from off them, and his burden depart from off their shoulders. This is the purpose that is proposed upon the whole earth, and this is the hand that is stretched out upon all the nations. For the Lord of hosts hath proposed, and who shall disannul it? And his hand is stretched out, and who shall turn it back? In the year that King Ahaz died was this burden. So we give you the timeline when Ahaz died, right? 29. Rejoice thou, O Palestinian. There it is right here. Because the rod of him that smote thee is broken. For out of the serpent's seed, see that? So the serpent got a root. I showed you that over and over again. Through Cain's lineage. Out of the serpent's root. So eventually, the descendants out of Cain's descendants going to end up in Jerusalem, in Palestine. It says, for out of the serpent's root shall come forth a cockatree, that's his lineage, and his fruit shall be a fiery flying serpent. And the firstborn of the poor shall feed, and the needy shall lie down in safety. And I will kill thy root with famine, and it shall slay the remnant. Howl ye, O gates, cry, O city, thy whole Palestinian are dissolved, for there shall come from the north a smoke, and none shall be alone in the appointed time. So he's telling you right here that the serpent seed is going to end up in Palestine. It says, out of the serpent's root shall come forth a cockatree. Like I said, a perfect example of that is when you read first like 10 verses out of chapter 1 of First Maccabees. to give you the lineage of that. Let me read some of that real quick. But you know, they got us brainwashed that the serpent don't have no lineage. So let's look at it right quick. So I'm in First Maccabees. Let me read it. I read till like verse 10. This First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 1. It came to pass, here you go, after Alexander of Macedon, this out of the serpent's root, the son of Philip, who came from the land of Checham and had utterly defeated Darius, king of the Medes and Persians, and he reigned in his stead, and he had before reigned over Greece. And he waged many wars and captured fortresses and slaughtered the kings of the earth. And he made his way to the ends of the earth and despoiled a multitude of nations. So we know that he stopped his conquest in India. That's the ends of the earth. That's over there in that area, in that region, where India and Jerusalem, the Middle East, all that all tied together. That's where he stopped his conquest at. So, and the whole earth was silent before him. He became exalted. His heart was uplifted. He mustered a very mighty army, ruled over lands and over rulers of heathens, and they paid him tribute. Afterwards, he fell sick, and he knew that he was going to die. So he called his distinguished servants who were brought up with him and divided his kingdom among them while he was alive. Alexander had reigned 12 years when he died. And here you go right here. It's the serpent root that was mentioned right here in Isaiah 14. His servants succeeded him, each in his own dominion. After his death, they all put on crowns, as did their sons. So that's the lineage after them for many years. And they did much evil, because that's what the serpent root is. Descended from the serpent, much evil on the earth. And there sprang from them a sinful shoot named Antiochus. So we just saw, he told us a root, out of the serpent's root was going to come a cockatrice, show up in Jerusalem, right, in Palestine. After his death, okay, it says, and there sprang from them a sinful shoot named Antiochus Epiphanes, son of King Antiochus. And he was a hostage in Rome, right? And he became king in the 137th year of the Greek kingdom. And in those days, there arose out of Israel lawless men. So there it is right there. What he's telling you, what he told us way back in Isaiah 14, that a serpent seed, a root out of the serpent seed was going to show up in Palestine. Okay? Any comments on that? Okay? I'm going to deal with this right here, and then we'll go into our lesson. Okay, here we go.
Southern kingdom of Judah, we forsook the Most High. And he said,
this is what I was saying about how people they don't understand the extent of what they did to our scriptures. But not only that, it was prophesied. But because you don't understand what's going on, you don't see the verses that's pertaining to that. It ain't say nothing about they was going to pluck a verse out here and a verse out there. He said that they was going to devour our scriptures and our understanding. Okay, let's check out this brother talking about.
Strange children have been born to us.
Right.
Because we stopped obeying his commandments. We start mingling with all other people.
Because
we act like we wasn't the chosen.
So because we rebelled and kept rebelling against him, he caused us to start mingling amongst the nations. This is where the deception started coming in. We wasn't bringing forth, like they say, Hebrew or Hebrews. Okay, we started intermingling with all the other nations, bringing forth people that wasn't fully Hebrews. Check it out.
Chosen people of the Most High. We wanted to be like everybody else. And the Most High had already called us his own people. And so we started mingling with all these other people, doing whatever they do. And so we was having children by them. For strange children have been born unto them. Now shall the cankerworm devour them and their heritage. So our heritage has been devoured.
Right.
So the people that have devoured our heritage is Esau.
Hosea 5 and 7.
Esau sold his birthright to Jacob, Yaakov, who is Israel. Yeah. So he's working with the Japhet Gentiles. He's in cahoots with the Japhet Gentiles. They merged. And so they've taken over our heritage in Israel, in Jerusalem, in the land, in the promised land. Calling themselves Jewish because they know they're not Jews. Anytime anyone uses ish after anything, that means like. They know they're not Jews, so they say Jewish. But everybody don't connect the dots. They just say Jewish and they think, okay, that's who those people are. Yeah, they can be Jewish, but they're not Jews. They're not of the tribe of Judah. They're not the chosen people. They're not of the seed of Abraham. They're not of any of the 12 tribes of Israel. They're not of the tribe of Judah. You ask them what tribe, they say, we're not of any tribe because they practice Judaism. And so they think, okay, well, we practice the religion, so that means that we're the people. No, that means you're Jewish, like you say you are. You practice a religion, but you're not the chosen people. That's why I stated in the book of Revelation, I know those who say that they're Jews and are not. They do lie. But all the world, because of all the different religions, the religions that we're all a part of, all of the 12 tribes of Israel, until we come out and come into the knowledge of the truth, all the different religions acknowledge those people that practice Judaism as the chosen people. And so that's why all of us that still caught up in those religions, that's why we're deceived, because we're acknowledging those people as the chosen people. He said, now shall a cankerworm devour them in their heritage. So our heritage has been devoured by Esau, Edomites, and the Japhet Gentiles. They've taken over our heritage, claim that they're the chosen people. And so because we're caught up in these different religions, we don't know that we're the chosen people. When somebody like me try to tell you, you look at me like I'm crazy, I don't know what I'm talking about. But the scriptures already backed everything up that I'm saying. So you got to come out of these religions for you to see.
Yeah, so like I was saying, if you go to Hosea tells you all that. But we don't see that. We don't see how that all flow together. You think that just popped up well, but it was prophesied by the prophets. That's the purpose of the prophets. And you can see right here in Hosea, he's telling you that we was going to have, because of our rebellion, we was going to start having strange children. And then because of that, the cankerworm and all these things, which is examples of decay and all that, it was gonna devour us. And that's where we at. We lost our heritage through that. And then allowed Esau and all those people to come in. So let's look at that right quick. It says in Psalm 83, I guess go to one verse. It says, so like I said, he's not just picking Esau out of the fray and just, putting all these atrocities on him, but it tells us in the scriptures. It says, Psalm 83, keep not thy silence, O God, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God, for lo, thy enemies, okay, thy enemies make a tumult. and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, consulted against thy hidden ones, and they have said, Come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may no more be in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. Then it tells you, verse 6, Tabernacle of Edom, the Ishmaelites, Moab, and Hagarenes. So the first person, the first culprit is Esau. That's why the brother's saying that. So we got, when you say mingle, we mingle with Esau too. We mingle with all these people right here. And from this mingling is what happened to us as we lost our culture. Right. It's still going on today. Like I said, on the boat, doing all this, contrary to what these Negroes saying, all the ships that was taken from the west coast of Africa and brought us over here, not one Hebrew Israelite was laying with now woman. All our women was being laying with by other men outside of our culture. So all those people they not Israelites. You have to understand that. So that was that's the hand of the Most High. He said, I'm gonna watch over you for wickedness. So he didn't neutralize, like I said last night, the reason we got into predicament was the males was in charge. Back during the time of David, Solomon, and all that, the males, Abigail and all those women, they was doing what they were supposed to do. We got in this predicament from the males. So when the transatlantic slave trade came, they had no participation in no kind of interaction sexually with no Israelite woman. The people that's in control of those boats, the ones in control of those plantations, were no Israelites. He had them, he had neutralized them. It's like every other nationality of men came in. That's what we are today. Okay. So, like I said before, put your thinking cap on, because you can have a white man that sleep with an Israelite woman, and you're gonna get a kid, in between. So it's the same way with an Israelite man sleep with a white woman, except that the one where the man slept with the woman, that's an Israelite. But you got a Caucasian man sleeping with an Israelite woman. Both of them can look the same, but one of them is Israelite. So all during the transatlantic slave trade, there ain't no Israelites that's being produced. So let that ferment. Anyway, any comments?
Shalom, everyone. As you was breaking that down, Brother Leonard, I was thinking about that, with fast forwarding to where we are today and what has happened to us as a people throughout the years, right? We had no control on the boat. We had no control on the plantation.
Exactly.
Right? We still have no control today. So instead of looking at what has happened to us, people where we are today, shall I say, blaming others, right? Because like you say, we're in the predicament we in because of the men, right? But we all were punished.
Right.
So therefore, we have to look at the men and the women today.
Right.
Instead of blaming only the women or only the men. Instead of doing that, we should be more focused on coming together and bringing back our roots, our culture. It's going to take the man and the woman.
Right. Right. And so how you ready to divide that? Like I was saying, was we see in Jeremiah 24, you got a basket of figs, good, very good. You got a basket of figs, wicked, very wicked. So you say, what are you talking about? Go to when they was delivered out of Egypt. You had the same thing. So that was all the drama was coming from in the wilderness. He said that weeding out all these wicked ass folks. That wasn't the meaning. So Israel, he see Israel as one man. So when we go to the book of Daniel, when he says that his indignation came to a full, he's getting ready to do away with the temple, do away with Israel, scatter them all over the world, and he going back to heaven, to the Lord of hosts, back where he came from on the right hand side of the Father. So when he did that, all those people wasn't wicked. He cast off a righteous lineages that had been following him forever. He cast them all too. So you said, what are you talking about? Well, I read last night, Deuteronomy 44, 1 through 6, when he said he's gonna pour his spirit out on Israel. Why? These righteous seeds that he was cast off. Those are the ones that gonna get it. Everybody ain't gonna get it. So when that spirit comes, that's how you're gonna identify it. Because they're gonna respond. And that's where we at. We see right there what you take that same situation and go back to Egypt. They was sitting there, they saw. And that's what I'm gonna deal with here in a minute. But they was dealing with the Lord. They was looking at him. They was seeing him. In certain situations, they was looking at him. But as soon as they got situated, they rebelled. It ain't like we ain't seen nothing. But they was seeing, even if they didn't see him, they saw the results. They saw when the Pharaoh was tricked off into the Red Sea and he drowned him. They saw when the hail and all that came and the firstborn died. And it was dark in Egypt for pitch black for 3 days. They saw all that. And they turned. They still turned on him. So that's a wicked ass seed. To see all that and then you turn from your God. And so we in that same predicament now. And not only that, the intermingling that can happen. Them people back then was righteous Israelites, or what you call a Hebrew of Hebrews, or the mama of Hebrew, the daddy of Hebrew. That's what a Hebrew of Hebrews is called. It's another name for it, I can't remember, but it'll come to me. I think they mentioned it in Tobit. Anyway, so that's where that's where we at right today. Is you got so many people falling under that banner of Hebrew, but they ain't no Hebrew. And if you skip there and watch, you're gonna find out there ain't no Hebrew, because it's gonna come to the point where they're gonna show their true colors. Especially when the pressure come on. Okay. So with that, you got something?
Shalom, everyone. So, my question is, when we say the true, when we were speaking on the ones in Egypt now, in Israel now, they're not the true Israelites. So, and who are the true Israelites, and how can we say, tell the difference? I'll say, like you said, when he comes back, he's going to pour the Spirit upon. Even if you were learning and learning about the Most High and going into it and finding out who He is and how we should go accordingly. And when the Spirit gets poured out, you would, one who's learning it and being a part of it, if their forefathers were mingled and mixed in their parents of, their forefathers were not true blood of the Hebrewites or the Israelites, would they still come to in the fold or not?
Well, it's not that he's gonna do that when he come back. We witnessing it right now. It's Isaiah 44 and 1 through 5. This is a prophecy that we know now we in the midst of it because we're waking up. So it says 44 verses 1 through 5. Yet now here, he prophesied this long ago. It came to pass. O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen, thus said the Lord, that made thee and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant, and thou Jezreel, whom I have chosen. I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, now floods upon dry ground. Then right here, I will pour my spirit upon thy seed. So it's not something I'm saying. Thy seed, what seed? Israelite seed. See that? And then, and a blessings upon offspring. So that's a particular people, which is Israelites. Then 4, after he do that, this is a sign, and they shall spring up as among the grass, as willows by the watercourse. We're looking at that one at a time, here and there. It's like I said last night about getting seeds and then putting them in the ground, but you didn't germinate them. And then Mike came back and said that some of them ain't gonna germinate because they ain't no good seeds. But the good seed, like he said right here, they shall spring up as among the grass, as willows by a watercourse. One shall say, the good seed, one shall say, I am the Lord's. Not I'm Jesus. I belong to Jesus. They're going to understand I belong to the Lord. And another shall call himself by the name of Jacob. And another shall subscribe with his hand unto the Lord and surname himself by the name of Israel. We see that all over the place. They waking up, renaming themselves, attaching themselves to Jacob. So that's evident that that's a prophecy that was prophesied. That's why it's happening. Like he said, I spoke it and I performed it, and it came to pass. So that's what we in the midst of that right now. So like I said, these people he talking about right here, he waking them up for them to return to him. So this is just the starting process to find out that you're Israelite. The goal is to find out who your God is, because these people them mutilated our scriptures and gave us another God. And even the concept and order of Most High order, they didn't tricked all that off. And that's what I'm gonna deal with in a minute. Okay. So it's not that he gonna do it when he come. He doing it now to prepare for when he come. Prepare people when he do come. And that's what we're looking at. And believe it or not, that's what all this social media is all about. You think he just came on the scene when it did? No. The hand of the most high is behind it. He said knowledge is going to increase. Well, that's what the internet is. Yeah.
Shalom.
Anybody else? Yeah.
I just want to, when he says, when it, I don't know the verse, so I'm quoting off of memory.
Okay.
Until all of the four corners of the earth acknowledge me. So being that with this internet and be able to reach all four corners of the earth, so all can be woke to what's going on. If that's what you're saying.
Yeah, well, they all ain't gonna wake up. He said seed.
Yes, all his seed, because
Right,
some
right,
are in churches and coming
right,
out of them and realizing who the Most High is and the
right.
Creator is. Okay, thank you.
That's where we at right now. You got some they coming out, but all of them ain't coming out. You got so-called Hebrews today, they'll kill you. You tell them JC ain't real. It's that Israelites, it's that seed, the DNA that's responding. They're doing exactly what Isaiah 44 said. That's your plumb line. Okay. Yeah. So this lady right here is kind of she, she got some kind of like, I guess, Caribbean type attitude, but I want to shine a light on something that she's saying that's tied to what I'm saying. Right. So let me do this right quick. It's about the word Jehovah. Like I said, nobody seems to know the extent of the devastation that they've done to our understanding and our culture. Check this out.
Name Jehovah or
Right.
Jehovah. Okay.
So they told us Jehovah, that's our God, right? Watch this breakdown.
Some of you always leave that particular name when you're mentioning, maybe you want to refer to the creator, you use that name. And you know, there is a popular church called the Jehovah Witness. They claim that they are those who are witnesses to this Jehovah. Now, who is this Jehovah? Okay. The thing is, there's a lot of things that sometimes when you go down to the truth of some of these things, it's difficult for you to even accept it because you were already part of it. Now, I came across, the first time I came across this, that the word Jehovah itself has some negative meaning. It was the first time I was going through a tablet. And I'm like, is this true? I was giving myself time to assimilate some of the things that I started discovering. And recently, I've been seeing a whole lot of things that keep pushing my mind to this. And I felt like, why not to do something about it? Now, I want to take you through something. I would want you to give your time, be attentive, and listen keenly. Pick what you should pick. I keep saying it. I don't bring things here for you to take it 100%. Even though we are running a race, it's in a different way. So the way you run your race is not the same with the way I run my race. I'm only trying my best as I know, as I realized, okay, to also help other people out there who are struggling to rediscover. That is my aim. So it's not to force anything on you to say you must believe in this. I just want to pave a way for you to go and do your own research. Mind you, discover the truth for yourself.
Say goodbye to your home insurance bill if you live in these zip codes.
Discover the truth for yourself. That is the best thing that you will ever do for yourself. And remember, the truth is what sets us all free. Okay? So, in some of our Bibles, it is written, when they want to talk about the creator of the universe, they use the word Jehovah. Most of our Bible use the word Jehovah. Jehovah, Jehovah. And a lot of us have been captivated by this word Jehovah. And when we pray, we see Jehovah.
Oh.
When we want to talk about the creator, we see Jehovah. But let's listen to this, and I'm going to take you to that tablet that I read this initially. The whole truth behind the Jehovah.
Now, the word Jehovah is a two-part word. The first part of the word is Yah, and it says it in the book. It says, see, the first part, 3050, which is Yah. And the second part is what number? There's more numbers. Give me some more numbers. I think it starts with 1. 1961. Turn to that. 1961. That's the second part of the word Jehovah. Hey, you.
So we're going to make a difference whether it's relevant for the J or Y.
Remember, there is no J in ancient language. Why?
Dictionary now.
When you look in a regular dictionary, if you look up J, if your old dictionary has, like in mine, let me just show you this real quick, because that's a valid question, brother. Okay, like here, my dictionary has the very forms of the letter, the original written forms of the letter, on the very first page for every letter. It'll tell you from Semitic or Phoenician or what, and it came up to the Greek and the Roman or whatever. And then it'll have a little blip down here about the letter. And it'll tell you that Y and I and J are one and the same letter. Okay, so for those of you that are going, okay, well, what's the Yahweh? Where's the J? Okay, that's what I was telling you. There is no Jesus. There was Yahshua. All right, can I erase this? Sure. Am I boring you guys yet? Okay. Jehovah is really Yahvah. I'm going to show you. Word 1961. Look down at word number 1962. I'm just going to make this quick for you. Whenever I look up words, I look at the words above and below the words, because sometimes they hide the stuff above or below. Now, what does it say in word number 1962? It'll tell you go look somewhere else and see Hova. Word 1943. Somebody read that. Another form how. That's okay. Hova means mischief, ruin, and rushing and falling. Iniquity, which is unequalness and unfairness. And it says, see word number what? 1942?
Yeah, so she see, you can do this on your own. When you go look that up, it's chaos, drama, all this type of stuff tied to this word Jehovah. So when you understand who it is that you're supposed to be praying to, you're praying to this is what you're praying to, and then they say, look at all the chaos going on around us. What we praying for? We summoning this deity or whatever you want to call it. You summoning that, and you ain't dealing with the Creator. That's what they gave us. That's what we summoning. When you find out what this word means, it don't have nothing to do with us as a people. Like I said, what I'm getting ready to go into, I'm gonna show you that. So we call him Jehovah. Take it for granted that, what they say is true. But like I said, we ain't getting no results. All the results we getting is exactly what the sister just said about what it means. All we getting is chaos. Because that's what we call it. Okay? Any comments? That's just one example of what happened to us. Okay? So, with that being said, I was gonna go into our last night, and I kind of came up a little bit. It first came up Wednesday night. We was talking about Elohim, and that Elohim only means one thing from our ancient culture as Israelites, or Elohim only meant one thing. The Creator, Yahweh, created 7 beings, angels. He formed them from himself. He's a consuming fire. Formed them. That's what Elohim means. These 7 angels. These are 7 powers that's assisting him in heaven. Wasn't no that Lord, thy God is one God, just like they did right here with Jehovah. They didn't implant that. And they got Negroes going down Prim Road. And when the truth comes, like I said, he told us knowledge was going to increase. Why? Because he's going to wake the Israelites up. You're going to start getting the knowledge, and now the knowledge coming, you hanging on to something that some serpent seed gave you, the hoodwink you. So my objective right now, these next 30 minutes or so, is for you not to jump up and hop. I mean, 2 things that just irk me, and that is, all you need is these 66 books. A nut bucket in 2024 will say that. And the other one is, the Lord thy God is one God. In 2024 and beyond, for you to say that, it's a nut bucket. If you've been utilizing this knowledge that the Most High said he was going to increase, if you've been using it, you wouldn't say that. That's a nut bucket. Point blank. So let's look at it. Okay. It says, I was telling you about the book I was dealing with that I was led to, and it was talking about how that in the beginning, before Judaism, because Judaism is a concoction of the Greeks and when the Hellenization came, Esau and the Greeks got together and became Edom, and they got Hotel records. When Antioch Epiphanes came, they were destroying the law, they destroyed the temple, they were destroying the books of the law, and they had got access to our records, so they started changing it, which is what Hellenistic or Hellenization is. They're changing everything to go along with they culture, which they culture is centered around pedophilia, homosexuality, all that, because that's what you get when the angelic being come down and sleep with a woman. That's what you get. So it's all in their culture. So when they got Hotel records, they started twisting it and turning it to fit to their life, the way they are. Like I was saying before, they makeup, their molecular makeup is twisted. You're sitting there looking at a man, lusting after a man. That's part of their culture. So the laws and the statutes and the judgments, when they got Hotel records and seen what was in them, they they couldn't deal with that because it was going against what they molecular makeup was. That's who they are. So yeah. So when you get like I said, you get a Hebrew or Hebrews, and he in this culture right here, and then he'll holler he was born that way. No, that's a lie. Because that ain't in Adam's lineage. Adam didn't sleep with no angels. There's a whole nother bloodline, no whole nother molecular makeup. So that's just some stuff you're going along with. You've been brainwashed. So anyway, let's look at it. So what I'm gonna do is show you it was these two powers in the very beginning, and they knew that. And we kind of go over a little bit what we said last night. We know out the gate it was two powers because we can see it in Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 and 2. In the beginning, God created. So what they calling it is two Yahwehs. We're gonna see that it's two Yahwehs. So it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. In the verse 2, and the Spirit of God moved upon the waters in verse 2. Two different beings. So both of these powers is in the heavens. They're coming from the heavens. Two powers right there, coming out the gate. So you say, what are you talking about? So you segue off of that, and you go to Exodus. Go to Exodus chapter 3 at Exodus 23 and 20. We always going here all the time. I'm going somewhere, right? So it says 23 and 20. So they're on Mount Sinai. The same two powers that was in Genesis 1 and 2 right here. They on the mountain. So it says the Creator God says to Moses in verse 20, behold, I sent an angel. What is an angel? Minister spirit that moved on the waters. In Genesis 1 and 2. Behold, I sent an angel before thee to keep thee in the way and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared. 21. Beware of him. So the creator being telling you this angel that he created, he formed in the beginning. The first one that he formed, he says, I'm sending him, right? To keep you in the way. Not he ain't going. I'm sending him, this angel, to keep you in the way, bring you into the place which I prepared. Then 21, beware of him, obey his voice, provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgression. So here go where the trick come in at, that we got hoodwinked at. He said, for my name is in him. Remember that. Beware of him, obey his voice, provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions. And because I'm sending him, my name is in him. So let's just say, because we know how these people in the hoodwinked us. Let's just say, for understanding purposes, that the creator God that's talking to Abraham, talking to Moses is Yahweh. So he just told him right here, my name is in him. So Yahweh in him. There go your two Yahwehs. Okay, let's ride. Keep going. 22. But if thou indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then will I be an enemy unto thy enemies and an adversary unto thy adversaries. Now here you go. For my angel shall go before thee and bring thee into the Amorites, the Hittites, Perizzites, Canaanites, the Hivites, the Jebusites. So right here, verse 23, for my angel. So like how in the hell can you be the Lord thy God be one God? When he's one as a being talking and he telling you, my angel, not me, my angel shall go before you. That's two different beings. So you say, what are you talking about? Well, that's why you see me keep going to Isaiah 44, verse 6. Let me read it. 44 and 6. He says, thus says the Lord. This is who we're talking to Moses on the mountain, the King of Israel, and my Redeemer, the Lord of hosts. Now check it out. This is where they're getting tricked off at. I am the first, he the first, right? And they go to and again, and I am the last. Besides me, there's no God. So the both of them, he the first, and the Lord of hosts is the last. They both, because of this angel got his name in him, which is Michael El. He was like Yahweh. They working, they the same. They're two different beings, but same perspective, same approach, same everything. And like he said, it's a spiritual side, it's a spiritual, and then it's a manifestation, flesh side. The flesh side coming to the earth. His angel is coming to the earth, dealing with mankind. He represents the one that's in heaven, that he's like. Like I said, you can't read this and then keep on saying the Lord thy God is one God. That's a nut bucket. So let's keep going. Okay. I had mentioned the name part of it. He said, for my name is in him. Right? So let's go to that. Look at that. Like I said, I went to Exodus 23 and he said, my name is in him. Right? He's singling out. Let's look at it. Let's go back there. So let's look at it. Make this plain. So he says 23. So we got angels, we got these 7 angels, Elohim, Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, and all that Enoch tells us about. And then you got millions and millions of angels that was spoken into existence. But this Elohim, the reason why they're the Elohim and the focus is put on them is because they were formed. They're personal to the Creator because he formed them with his hands. That's why Adam is personal, because Adam was formed with his hands. You got a connection with him because he formed it with his hands, right? So you said in Exodus 23, verse 21, the Lord Yahweh talking to Moses. Beware of him, obey his voice. It's an angel. I send my angel before me. Verse 20, behold, I send an angel before you, right? Beware of him, obey his voice, provoke him not, for he would not pardon the transgression. Here you go. For my name is in him. So his name is in this angel. There's all kind of angels all over heaven, but his name is in this angel. So when you say my name, when he say for my name's sake, he go back to this. It's the name that the Yahweh gave me because I'm like him. So when you see name, it's to this angel. The same way right here. 20. Behold, I send an angel before you. Then my name is in him. So when you see name anywhere in the Tanakh, it's about this angel. Not talking about Yahweh. It's talking about this angel. So let's look at it. Let's look at it in real time. Go to Genesis chapter 3. Right? I mean, stay in Exodus. Exodus chapter 3. Let's look at it. Okay, I'm in Exodus chapter 3. And it says, now Moses kept the flock. Remember, he told them, this angel, my name is in him. So when you somebody saying, for my name's sake, it ain't Yahweh. It's this angel saying, my name's sake. So chapter 3, verse 1 of Exodus, Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert, came to the mountain of God, even unto Horeb. Remember that. I did this the other night. Horeb. It came to Horeb. So it says, and the angel of the Lord. See that? There you go again. And the angel of the Lord. Who was this angel of the Lord? He the one with the Most High name in him. From Exodus 23 and 20. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in the flame of fire in the midst of the bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, but the bush was not consumed. It's the angel. Then Moses said, I will not turn aside to see this great sight while the bush is not burned. And when the Lord, remember that too. I'm shining a light on that. It says, and Moses said, I will not turn aside to see this great sight while the bush is not burned. And when the Lord, that's his angel, saw that he turned aside to see the Yahweh in heaven, see that? Called unto him out of the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, here I am. So remember this. Remember this right here, because this the order. This is how everything works. And so, like I said before, when you understand this, you can't go back to what these nut buckets wrote down and said the Lord thy God is one God. So he says, Yahweh, when this angel appeared on the bush in the flame of fire, Yahweh can speak through him. Right? And he says, Moses, Moses. So he called him through this angel to Moses. That's one of the major purposes that he formed these seven from himself. The fire that you see on the bush came from Yahweh. So he's able to speak through this angel to Moses. So he called Moses' name out. Right there. Moses. Yahweh did. So you say, what are you talking about? Abraham had Isaac with him. Where he go? Remember right here, where they at? They on Horeb. So like I said before, you can fumble with it if you want, but they on Horeb. They on Mount Horeb. Well, where Abraham went to go sacrifice Isaac at? Same mountain. What happened? Moses got ready to come down to tell you the angel of the Lord is there. Moses getting ready to come down with the knife to sacrifice Isaac. Then it says that a voice from heaven said what? Abraham. Take you right back here. Both of them. He speak just like he spoke through the angel right here. He spoke through the angel that's standing there with Moses, with Abraham. Called him. Abraham, take the boy away. Don't do this. Then what happened? Yahweh talking through the angel from heaven. Then the angel told him, yo, it's a ram over here in the bush. That's why he's saying my name is in him. So his name, Moses standing there getting ready to sacrifice Isaac, and his name, the angel that got his name in him is standing there. What's Yahweh's name? Yahweh. They're going to two Yahwehs again. They're working in tandem. Okay? So let's keep going. If you have a comment, let me know something, because I want to go in on this. So we go to Deuteronomy chapter 12, right quick. Let's look at this. Tied to the same thing. This Lord. I'll put a light, shine light on this Lord thing. So you go to Deuteronomy chapter 12, right? Let's look at it. Deuteronomy chapter 12. And I'm gonna read 11 through 1 through 11. Deuteronomy chapter 12. Okay, it says, let me see. Okay, yeah, 12 says, these are the statutes and the judgments which ye shall observe and do in the land which the Lord God of thy fathers giveth thee to possess it. All the days that ye live upon the earth, ye shall utterly destroy all the places wherein the nation which ye shall possess serve, right? Their gods upon the high mountains and upon the hills and under the green tree. So let's look at that right there before we get started. Like I said, what I'm attacking is this Lord thy God is one God, right? So it says, verse 2. This the Lord of hosts talking to the Israelites. Ye shall utterly destroy all the places wherein the nations, Canaanite nations, those 7 nations in Canaan, which ye shall possess, serve their gods. So there go gods right here. Who these gods is? Who these gods is right here? Upon the high mountains and upon the hills and under every green tree. So who is this? Els, these angels, these fallen angels. They the ones in the mountains. That's why Lord of hosts, Michael in the mountain. He got a mountain that he dwells on. Horrible. So these other gods up there, they lowercase gods. So you go back to the Lord thy God is one God. Come on, that's something else. That's a trick Esau. So anyway, it says on the high mountains, upon the hills, and under every green tree. So what are you talking about? Well, it's 3 angels came to Abraham. Where they ended up at? Under a green tree. And what they do? They gave him. Abraham had cakes and meat and all that he prepared, a calf, and they ate under the tree. These righteous angels, but these people that was there before Abraham got there, these Canaanites, they dealing with other gods, angels, Els, worshiping them in the mountains, and they dealing with them under the tree and making groves and all this. Gods, right? So anyway, verse 3 says, and ye shall overthrow their altars. They got altars. Don't the Lord of hosts got an altar? Didn't Abraham making altars in the land of Canaan? See that? And break their pillars and burn their groves. Like I said, it groves with fire. What groves? They wherever they meet them at, they make a grove out of it. They venerate that area. Make a grove out of it. These fallen angels. So with fire, and ye shall hew down the graven images. They make images of them after they deal with them, of their gods, and destroy the names of them out of their place. Right. So see, they got a name in it. They got a name in them. They are angelic being, but they got a name in them. So you got this angel of the Lord, Yahweh name in him. See that? Now, 4, ye shall not do so unto the Lord your God. Now here you go. This is what I was telling you about. Associate the name with the Lord. It's all one and the same. So the Lord ain't Yahweh. The name is associated with the Lord, which is his angel. Ye shall not do unto the Lord your God, but unto the place which the Lord your God shall choose out of all your tribes to put his name there. See that? And unto his habitation shall ye seek. Thither shall thou come. So this angel, Yahweh ain't coming down here dealing. He don't have no habitation on the earth. His habitation is in heaven. But this angel that he got down here have chosen a habitation for himself, which is Jerusalem, where he put his name that the Creator gave him. That's how you write the divide there. The name is associated to this angel that kills the Lord thy God as one God. Okay? Then 6, and thither ye shall bring your burnt offering. So wherever he at, this angel, that's where they bring their sacrifices. What that said? He chose Jerusalem, Mount Zion. They built a temple there. That's where it's altered. That's where they bring in all the sacrifices, not Yahweh, right? Offerings and your sacrifices, your tithes, and your heave offerings, and your hand, and your vows, and your free will offerings, and the first of your herds and your flocks. See that? This ain't for Yahweh. You don't need it. And there ye shall eat before the Lord your God. Ye shall rejoice in all that ye put your hand unto, yea, in your household, wherein the Lord thy God hath blessed thee. Ye shall not do after the things that we do here this day. Every man so whatsoever is right in his own eyes, for ye are not as yet come to thy rest and to the inheritance which the Lord your God hath given you. But when you go over the Jordan and dwell in the land which the Lord your God giveth you to inherit, and when he giveth you rest from all your enemies round about, so that ye dwell safely, then there shall be a place which the Lord your God shall choose to cause his name. There it is. Go back to Exodus 23. His name. So you can't, every time you see this name right there, you can't associate, it's not associated with Yahweh, it's associated with this angel. Then you want to know why he talking the way he talk. Then he says his name to dwell there. Not in heaven. So this ain't Yahweh. Neither shall ye bring all that I command you, your burnt offerings and your sacrifices, your tithes and your heave offerings of your hand, and all your choice vows which ye shall vow unto the Lord. And ye shall rejoice before the Lord your God, and ye and your sons and your daughters and your manservants and your maidservants and the Levites that is within your gates, for as much as he have no part nor inheritance with you. So we see right here, this name associated with this angel of the Lord. Okay, let's keep going. So let's go. Let's look at Psalm 20. Psalm 20. Okay, I'm reading. Let me read it. Psalm 20. Okay, it says, some trust in chariots, right? And this is a Psalm of David. Now here we go. Based on what we just uncovered, the Lord hear thee in the day of trouble, and the name, and look here you go, the name of God of Jacob defend thee. So who is this? It's the angel of the Lord. This ain't Yahweh. 2, send thee help from the sanctuary and strengthen thee out of Zion. This ain't Yahweh. Remember all thy offerings and accept thy burnt offerings. Selah. We just read that. He told them, wherever I'm at, that's where you bring your sacrifices at. Yahweh ain't down here. So you can't go to heaven and take no sacrifice. It ain't down. That's not who they're dealing with. He said, verse 3, remember all the offerings and accept thy burnt sacrifice. Selah. Great grant thee according to thine own heart, and fulfill thy all thy counsel. We will rejoice in thy salvation, and in the name of, there you go again, in the name of our God, we will set up our banners. The Lord fulfill all thy petitions. Now know that the Lord saveth his anointed. He will hear him from his holy heavens with the saving strength of his right hand. Then here you go. Some trust in chariots, some in horses, but I will remember the name of the Lord our God. This angel. Take you back to Deuteronomy, to Exodus 23 and 20. The Creator himself told you the name is associated with this angel. My name is in this angel. But when you see name, it's automatically tied to the angel, not Yahweh. And like I said before, take that Lord thy God as one God take it down the road somewhere because it don't apply. So anyway, keep going. It says, okay, 2 Samuel chapter 6. Let's look at it. So like I said before, to get this understanding, we all over the Tanakh. We're not bound to 2 verses in one book, and you can't get outside of that. We all over the place. We're breaking down who this is, all over the Tanakh. Okay, so like I said, 2 Samuel. Let me get it. Minute. 2 Samuel chapter 6. Chapter 6. Okay. I'm in chapter 2 Samuel chapter 6, verses 1 and 2. It says, and again David gathered together all the chosen men of Israel, 30,000. And David arose and went with all the people that were with him from Baal Judah to bring up from thence the ark of God, okay, whose name is called by the name of the Lord of hosts. See that? That dwelleth between the cherubim. So what is he talking about? Okay, like I said before, if you've been brainwashed to believe that those 66 books that these Gentiles gave you is where you're gonna get your understanding that you're wrong. So it says right here, Enoch tells us that Yahweh is is a temple. When Enoch was taken up there, there's a temple up there, a house of Yahweh that's in the 7th heaven. That's where he dwelled at. So who is this that dwell on earth? The other power, the strong one, the judge at the Most High in the very beginning when he formed him. He the judge. His name is in him. He's doing all the Lord, all of Yahweh's bidding. So where is his place of rest? Between the cherubs, on top of the mercy seat. It's over the ark of the covenant. So look what David said. Verse 2, of 2 Samuel 6 and 2. And David arose and went with all the people that were with him from Baal Judah to bring up from thence the ark of God, whose name is called by the name of the Lord of hosts. See that? Back to Isaiah 44 and 6. And they ain't got the and there just for the hell of it, or to drink coffee and eat a donut. It's there for a reason. He the king and the Lord of hosts is his redeemer, the savior. More than one. So he tells us, David says right here, whose name is called by the name of the Lord of hosts. The name is associated to the Lord of hosts, the redeemer, not to Yahweh, that dwelleth between the cherubs. What cherubs? That he told when they made the temple, they fashioned 2 cherubs that's on top of the ark of the mercy seat. That's what the Lord of hosts had. He meet Israel once a year on the Day of Atonement between those mercy seats. Not Yahweh. Okay? Keep going. Go to Exodus, Deuteronomy 4 and 35 through 37. Deuteronomy 4. Let me get it. Okay. Deuteronomy chapter 4. Okay. It says, Deuteronomy 4 and 35. Okay, it says, under thee, check it out, under thee was it showed that thou mightest know that the Lord, see that? Remember what we just saw? The Lord is this angel. The name is associated to this angel. The angel of the Lord, all of them the same thing. So it tells you right here in 35, unto thee it is shown that that thou mayest know that the Lord, he is God. There is none else besides him. Take you right back to what these nutbuckets going to. The Lord thy God is one God. It ain't adding up. You know, you're telling you right here, this angel is God. There's none besides him. That's because there ain't no other angel with him. Ain't no other angel like him. You're not rightly dividing what's being said and not rightly dividing what's being done. Okay? So we keep going. Isaiah 30, verse 27. Look at it. Like I said, this one precept after the precept after precept. You're not bound to no cage, right? 2 or 3 precepts. So I'm in Isaiah 30. Okay, 30 and 27. It says, behold, the name of the Lord. See that? The name of the Lord. Who the Lord? The Lord of hosts. Yahweh not no Lord. It says, behold, the name of the Lord cometh from afar, burning with his anger, and the burden thereof is heavy. His lips, yeah. So his lips are full of indignation, and his tongue as a devouring fire, and his breath as a overflowing stream shall reach to the midst of the neck, and to sift the nations with the savvy of vanity, and there shall be a bridle in the jaws of the people, causing them to err. So we see right here, they say it's not Yahweh. Nowhere when you read in Tanakh is the name associated to Yahweh. It's associated to this angel. He's like Yahweh. You can't make them one. They operating as one, but it's two different energies. That's why it's saying and. Okay? Let's look at Exodus 33, 13 and 14. So 33, 13 and 14 says, I'll read, okay, I'm going to read, start at 12. And Moses said unto the Lord, see, thou sayest unto me, bring up the people, and thou hast not let me know whom thou wilt send with me. Yet thou hast said, I know that I know thee by name, and thou hast also found grace in my sight. Now therefore I pray thee, if I have found grace, look at this, I have found grace in thy sight, show me now thy way, that I may know thee, and that I may find grace in the sight of in thy sight, and consider that this nation is thy people. And he said, my presence shall go with thee, and I will give thee rest. And he said unto him, if thy presence go not with thee, carry us not up thence. For wherein shall it be known here that I and thy people have found grace in thy sight? Is it not in this that goeth with? Is it not in that thou goest with me, with us? So shall we be separated, I and thy people, from the people that are upon the face of the earth. And the Lord said unto Moses, I will do this thing also that thou hast spoken, for thou hast found grace in my sight, and I know thee by thy name. There you go again. It's obvious. And like I said, You want to know why Creator's talking the way he talking. I mean, why this angel talking the way he talking. You got Yahweh name in it. Something that no other angel have. He's like Yahweh. He has the abilities of Yahweh. And like I said before, this was the most necessary thing that could have happened because you can't deal with Yahweh. He's gonna consume you. So he had to create this being that comes from heaven and do his bidding for him. That's why he sent him out in front of Israel. Okay? So I'm in Judges chapter 2. Okay? I'm gonna pick this up tonight because I'm not gonna be able to get through all this today. So go to Judges chapter 2. Okay? Judges chapter 2. Right? Let's look at it. So let's look at it. It says, and the angel of the Lord, right, coming out the gate, the angel of the Lord came up from Gilgal to Beckham, and he said, I made you to go up out of Egypt, and I have brought you into the land which I swore unto your fathers. And I said, I will not break my covenant with you, and ye shall make no league with the inhabitants of this land, and ye shall throw down their altars. There go again, but they have not obeyed my voice. And why have you done this? So we just read in Exodus 23, which is that's our center point. Exodus 23, Yahweh told Moses, he sent an angel before him. And Yahweh told him, obey his voice, because my name is in him. Right? So right here, this angel that Yahweh presented to Israel is telling them right here, I'm the one who made the covenant with you. I'm the one that's dealing with you. I'm the one that's out in front of you. You the one, I'm the one that the Creator told you to obey. Right? So you say, what are you talking about? Well, they've been in the wilderness right here for 400, they've been in the wilderness for 40 years. And they see him out in front of them. They're dealing with him. Right? Verse 3. Wherefore I also said, I will not drive them out from before you, but they shall be as thorns in your side, and their gods shall be a snare unto you. So there go the gods again. So what are you talking about? This angel right here is the God over Israel. But the other nations that they're coming into, God, gods over them. See that? So what gods you think it is? Fallen angels. Wicked ass angels that's over them. So it says, and it came to pass when the angel of the Lord spake these words unto all the children of Israel, that the people lifted up their voices and wept. So why they weeping? He said, he telling them, I've been with you for 40 years, running around this wilderness, and you keep on vexing me. I'm finna go. When you wake, I've been with you consecutively for 40 years. But when you wake up in the morning, I ain't gonna be here. I've been following you all over the place, doing all this, but you doing something else. So anyway, it says, and they call the name of the Lord the place of Beckham. Now go back up to Beckham. It says the angel of the Lord came up from Gilgal to Beckham. And then you get to verse 5, and they call the name of that place Beckham, and they sacrifice there unto the Lord. Saying this ain't Yahweh. It's the angel of the Lord. Sacrifices, all that they're doing is to this Lord right here. This other Yahweh, lesser being that creator, that Yahweh himself created and put his name in. This is where the narrative come from the New Testament. This is what they plagiarizing. Okay? Genesis 31. We're doing a scriptorial. That's what we're doing. Okay. So I'm in 38. Genesis, let me see. Okay. 28, I think it is. Let me see. Genesis 28 says, let me see. No, 48. My bad. So we should be familiar with this. I'm gonna just send the last one. Pick it up this evening. I'm in 48. This is when Jacob anointed Joseph's two sons. Okay, we're gonna pick it up in 14. Says, and Israel stretched out his hand. This Jacob. Israel stretched out his hand, and he laid it upon Ephraim's head, who was the younger, and his left hand upon Manasseh's head, guiding his hand willingly, and Manasseh was the firstborn, and he blessed Joseph. Check it out what Joseph says right here. And like I said, you try to fit this the Lord thy God is one God in this. And he blessed Joseph, right? It's Jacob. Jacob blessed Joseph and said, God, that these brothers keep going to, the Lord thy God is one God, right? Says, God, before whom my father Abraham and Isaac walked, the God who fed me all my life long unto this day. So he said, God. I ain't write this. 16, he says God twice in verse 15. And he blessed Joseph, and he says to God, before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac did walk, the God who fed me all my life long unto this day. Then 16, this God is the angel which redeemed me from all evil. Bless the lads, and let my name be named on them in the name of thy father Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow in the multitude in the midst of the earth. So, like I said, who you gonna believe? He just told you right here that his angel is God. He's not Yahweh in heaven, but he's God. He's like Yahweh. Okay. So we're gonna stop right there. We'll see if anybody have any questions or comments, and we're gonna pick it up and finish this in at the close out the Shabbat this evening. Anybody got any comments, questions about anything they heard? Get any understanding out of that? Everybody good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Y'all seem like y'all in shock. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna say shalom. Okay. Hold on a minute. Okay. What's up, Wesley? What's up, Wesley? You got any comments or anything before we go? Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah. So shalom, brother. So I see everybody this evening to close out the Shabbat with. Shalom.
Shalom, everyone.